Yo, what's up? This is Ian. Yo, and we are in Montana. Take a look around at the scenery. And bam, there's my van. So, in this video, I was going to talk about. I'm a little tired, I didn't sleep too good. I stayed up too late the last couple nights, kind of messed my schedule up and whatnot. So, I'm going to talk about what I did on my van in the last. Few months or the last 8 months starting in April. So one of the first things I did was those hinges. I changed those hinges. I used to have these kind of like barn door style hinges. You can see the impressions of them there below that top hinge, and there's a lot of rivets in this door. I've redone this door like so many times. So I put 4 of these strap hinges. These are aluminum. Why did I change? I guess the other ones, they worked fine. I just didn't like how they looked, and they rusted. They were steel. They weren't like stainless steel or anything like that, and they just they would rust, and I would try to put clear coat on it and different oils, and they would still rust. And I just kind of liked how these ones looked, and they're kind of expensive. They're like 60, I don't remember how much, but it was like a few $100s at least for like 8 hinges. So I like them. They're solid looking, and so I did that like back in April. Now the other thing I'm going to show you, I just kind of did yesterday. I'm going to climb up here so we get a little bit of a view. I'm thinking we'll get somewhat of a view. So I put that stove cap on the roof, and we went straight through the roof, and we removed the so you see where that sticker is, the kind of bluish sticker, ESL Insider sticker. That is where it used to come out. It used to have like a bend, like a 90-degree bend, and come out the side, because I was basically afraid to go through the roof. So going through the roof was like, I really stressed it, and I really kind of planned and thought about it for a long time, and because I was scared to go through the roof. And so I definitely kind of worked on it quite a bit, and it took some time and some preparation, and I searched for a long time on how to get like how to get a kind of stove cap that I liked, and that was the best one I found. It's stainless steel. It's Dickinson Marine. They make like diesel heaters and stuff, but a different style, not like the diesel heaters, the Chinese style diesel heaters. They're like for boats and stuff. So go inside. It's nice and messy in here. We're talking about the roof. So this is basically, hold on a second here. So my roof, this is the original roof. This is how thin it is. It's transparent. I'll show you what, there's a little bit left you can see. You see up there the light shining through the yellow. So that's fiberglass, and this is how thin it is. I knew it was thin, but when I first bought this and I spent my first kind of rainy day in it, on the drive home from North Dakota, I bought this in North Dakota. I was just like, it didn't give me a sense of security. Like, it sounds like you're in a tent, basically. So I wanted something a little beefier. So what I did is, on the whole cargo area of the roof, you might have been able to see that kind of when I previously was showing up there the rooftop. So this is like the roof, and then over that I put a lot of cork. This is cork underlay, and then I got this massive sheet of aluminum. It's pretty thin, but Definitely stronger and beefier than that fiberglass. So, and I riveted it to the roof, and I made a video about that, I believe. So let's see, what else did we do this year? Oh, don't fall over. Try to turn on some lights. Got a few different lights. So, got a new yoga mat, which I'm pretty happy about. It's a cork and rubber, natural rubber yoga mat. So, a little more lights. Where to start? We'll start here. I've made in previous videos, I talked about the solar. And this was kind of like the big project of the summer. It took me two months to complete. So we got all these things and wired them together. I got 2 lithium 100 AH amp hour batteries. There's a Renogy 50A DC to DC charger with MPT. It's not on now, but kind of back upper left there is like a battery monitor. It tells me how much. It's at 100%. Fuse block, 12 volt fuse block. A whole lot of fuses, a whole lot of wires, connectors. I can't remember what that thing's called right now. A shunt, battery shunt. Yeah, lots of wires, thick wires, lots of connectors. So the tough thing was learning like what goes with what. Like you've got, these little connectors here, the lugs, the wire, you got to crimp them together. You need, depending on what you're connecting, you need different size wires, different size connectors. It's a real lot of information, and like you can, now the light's kind of shining. 200 amp hours. It is really complex. Now the box, I actually built the box like a year ago. Or more, a year and a half ago. I don't remember exactly when. And so this summer it was kind of piecing it all together. That's an inverter. It's a 2,000 watt inverter. This will turn the inverter on. And we kind of wired it all together. Oh, I just remembered another thing I did this summer. So, yeah, that was that. I made a whole video. I probably go into a little bit more on that. I'm kind of just briefly touch on things. So another thing I did this summer, now it's not complete, but it's getting there. So these are my turntables. And it's been a goal. Oh, I've been looking for that bit. These are my turntables. We're kind of, yeah. It's a work in progress, but we kind of wired, connecting it all together again. That is an SL3. It's kind of like a device that connects to your computer so you can play like MP3 files through your turntables, basically. So like digital files with a turntable. Speaker, I'm not too far away from completing it. Got this connected, computer. So, other things I did this summer. All right, so we did some carpentry. We did 3 carpentry pieces. That one right there, that kind of bench. This, I don't know what you want to call it, a cabinet-like thing. And that sort of shelf-like thing. I'll show you this. It's kind of, take these off here. Pretty stoked with it. I haven't actually used, I got like space here. Storage, some storage stuff. I haven't used it so much for storage, but it's, it's pretty comfortable. I can sit on it. Up there, I kind of started. It is some drawings, and eventually there'll probably be some paint and color on it. I just kind of started with pencils, so it's kind of just like working with the, that's my bed. It folds down. It's a Murphy bed. We did it a few years back. And cabinet, the top there kind of lifts. Pretty stoked with how that turned out. The color, the yellowish of that birch, not so much. Didn't really like. But yeah, so that is our bench. Let's see. And then this. So these things we did since I've been in Montana. So since August, I made this one and this one. This one I'm pretty happy with. This is like the most recent, besides the stove. I finished this just before I started on the stove, probably a few weeks ago. I finally got it bolted up on the wall using kind of riv nuts. Those are a little tricky, but I'm pretty happy with this. I like the open. I can just put random stuff there, and toss it in there, and it works good for my method of my ways of just kind of being. I'm not like super organized person, and there's no cabinet or drawer to open, so I can just put it there. It's like simple. I like that. I notice when I make, if I gotta lift something, or I don't know about this one, but this one is good. I'm pretty happy with this. Like this kind of like, just like I want to try. This is my clothes drawer, basically, socks, some t-shirts and stuff. This is good. I like this. These things, they work like kind of. It's more of like, but it's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. A better example would be this. Like, it's a little bit less. You kind of throw stuff in there, but it's not so organized. I'm a little bit unsure about this. Like, I was kind of like, do I try to make this so I could pull these out? Like, all I could do is make some cuts here, so I pull it out. But I was like, does that look nice? I thought about putting a door on it. Let's see. A little farther back view. Thought about putting a door on it. Thought about maybe turning it, putting a front on this, and so you can slide it out, and so it's like a drawer basically. But I don't know. This is all new to me, the carpentry and stuff. So it's like, since I've had this van, this is pretty much all the woodwork, aside from like painting frames. I used to make painting canvases and stuff like that from scratch, and using wood and canvases and build the frames for them. But this is pretty much, so we're kind of learning. It's been a process. So yeah, this one might not be the end of it. I used a piece of aluminum, so it doesn't look, I could probably clean it and get some of these stains off, like a water stain. So it's aluminum. It's just what I had. And like, I asked online, what about aluminum with a countertop, and Reddit, and everybody was like, that's a horrible idea. And yeah, maybe it is a horrible idea, but I did. So, but what I did is I put epoxy over it. You can kind of see how it's like shiny back here. So it's actually really shiny, but I didn't really like the shiny, so I sanded it. But some problems I had with the epoxy was 3 stupid flies. Like, so you pour it on, you have to like put like tape to mask it or prevent it from dripping over or did I do that? I've done epoxy a couple times. Maybe not with this one. I didn't do the tape, but I had to put stuff like on the sides to prevent it from dripping all over this stuff. 3 flies landed in it, like in the epoxy before it like cured. So they got stuck in it. And so there's a blemish here, which is like, basically a hole, because then I had to pick the fly out when it was wet. One landed here, so left a blemish, and one landed here, so there's a little dent in the blemish. So it's kind of like what it is. Like these little holes here are just a sheet of aluminum. Used to be part of a shelf. Like all those doors that you saw on the outside, I showed you with the hinges, made from the same thing, same piece of aluminum. These are all the original shelves in here for the postal van. And we cut them up. We made doors. We use this as a countertop. It's got epoxy on it. If I wiped this down and cleaned it off, there'd be the less like marks and stains on it, except for these stupid flies that landed in it. It was curing. Not many bugs and insects in Montana, but seems like there's a lot of flies, like just like regular kind of like house flies. Not many like biting, a few mosquitoes, but not many, not like the East Coast. Yeah, so that's like what I did all summer. And this is the inside of my stove. This is what it looks like. We just did that last night. I had a friend kind of help put this all together. This is also part of the deck fitting. This is Dickinson Marine. I had to build all of this kind of wood. I had to build a support. See, this stuff is like, it's like flexible. That thin fiberglass stuff, it's kind of flexible. This square space up here, rectangular space, was, we'll see if I follow through with it, was for a skylight. My plan was to make a big skylight and put it here. Might still do it. We'll see. So to change this, so the other pipe went like, so it kind of went like up and then out right there. I cut a new piece of birch and put that in there. So the hole used to be like a big hole there where the pipe would go through, but it did not draft well. So that's why we did it. And I'd get a lot of backdraft out my stove. And that's a stove I made. And in the future, I'll make a video on that. It's been a work in progress. Get the support here. It's pretty sturdy. Like, it's all pretty sturdy. One mistake I made is this piece of wood. Now, I think I planned everything pretty well, and I just didn't want to have to redo anything. And I laid, like, the deck fitting is on top, there's steel, there's a rubber gasket, and then I used like RTV as well. It was just kind of, things went pretty good. I had to adjust some things, I had to cut a little bit off this pipe. This is stainless steel and auto pipe, to get it to fit. We haven't used it yet, so hopefully there's no leaks, water leaks from up above. I really don't think they're, hard to imagine there would be. I'd start crying if there were. And I lined it up pretty good. It's like slightly off, but not bad. I was really worried about all these, putting all this together. And so one problem was, what is that? It's RTV or something. This thing is square, so this piece of plywood, it's actually two pieces of this same 3/16 glued together. Got a hole out. I didn't, you see how it's like, it's not like squared up and everything, it's kind of off an angle. So one little thing I missed when kind of drilling all these holes through things, like, yeah, working on it. side. Maybe I should have just cut it, matched it to this, or try to make it more round and then just make it round, and then it wouldn't look kind of weird. But I'm not taking it off and doing it again because there's all kinds of sealant on top and in there, and it would be a pain. And I have to take all these things apart so I can get this out of the pipe. But anyways, this is Ian. Hello. We're stuffed up and congested. And let's see, we're in Montana. You're looking out my window, and that's what I did in the last 8 months working on my van. All right. Peace.